So welcome. So in today's yoga class, you will definitely want blankets to elevate your pelvis and various things. If you have two blocks, that's great, and a strap. We will be working on some preparatory work for going into inversions, which is part of a traditional yoga practice, and then working on basic spinal twists. So a lot of the focus is here. It's basically hips and shoulders. But before we start, get yourself just into a comfortable cross-legged seated position or any position that you are good with. And as always, very key when you sit, I'm sitting on 3 blankets folded up, is that the sacrum is lifting up, so you create a corner between the hinge of the hips. The tendency is for the sacrum to drop because of tight back muscles. So if you cannot sit straight, the idea is that you keep elevating your bottom up until you get that vertical place where the spinal column is lifted. From this position, just to set intention and orient into today's practice, sitting with your spine tall, your head erect, your shoulders broad, close your eyes. Take a moment to focus in on your own body. Notice if your energy is dispersed all over the place or still busy with life, and bring it down. And any extraneous tendrils of energy that are floating out there that belong to you, energetically pull them in and feel yourself relax a little bit as everything returns. Take a deep breath in. And then let the breath go out and feel yourself ground and settle and become quiet. And now notice if there's any residual energy that is in you that has nothing to do with you, belongs somewhere else. Ask that energy to leave. So you're not carrying worries about other people, concerns, desires to help, need to deliver something, whatever it is, not yours, send it back. And again, take a deep breath in. And slowly let everything go. You're just clearing up your energetic space and becoming present in this moment right now for this yoga practice. Settle in. Find a place of stillness. And then see if you can connect with an intention or a direction for this practice. I will create a group intention for today. So let us dedicate this practice to learning more about our own bodies. Let us be honest and open to having a clean practice, a true practice that's right for us. We will be going slow so we can really focus in on details and allow that clarity and honesty create truth, wisdom, integrity, health, vitality, so we can bring more of who we are to the world. Take a deep breath in. Hold that intention in your heart center. And then breathing out, let everything go. And slowly open your eyes. Very good. To start, let's come to a standing position. So moving things out of the way. And coming into Uttanasana, or a partial forward bend, but get your blocks or some kind of elevated height, because you want to start with your feet hip-width apart and the toes going straight forward, so you're in a direct alignment with your own anatomy. And then from here, bend the knees a little bit and bring the blocks or whatever you can get your hands on underneath the shoulders. So there's this distance of our trunk that you want to become aware of. If you only have one block, you can be on one block in a pinch. And what I'm really looking for is the same sensation. First, this area, can you lift it and pull it up? So we are actually opening up the hamstrings. Keep the knees bent for a minute because it's easier to access this. And then from here, take the back ribs and pull them into the body so the spine gets long. We're not looking to get down to the ground. We're looking to get length in the spine. And from that position, slowly lengthen the knees if you can. Very important to keep the back ribs moving in to the body so the spine becomes integrated. Very easy to round and think you're getting closer to the floor. But today's aspiration is this length of the spine lengthening out. Check to see that your hips are over your heels and then ground the heels into the mat. When we go forward, the weight can come light and the heels are heavy on the toes. We want the heels grounding and the backs of the legs opening, the sacrum moving forward, the rib cage moving into the body, the shoulder blades moving into the body, the spine becoming long. Just take some moments to focus in here. And if you're working with blocks and you think you can sustain these qualities, move them to a lower height. If you've noticed that now your spine is starting to round, stay at the above level. We really want to refine this sensation. The shoulder blades moving into the body, the back ribs moving towards the front ribs, the waist is getting long, the sit bones are lifting, the sacrum is moving up, the tail is moving away from the pubic bone. Then move the blocks even lower and see if you can still sustain it. For me, that's about as low as I want to get. So hold this position, and if any of you want to go even lower, go down, but please today work on the length of the spine, not just getting close to the floor. It's a very different focus and it's an important one. From here, bend the knees and just for a minute, bring yourselves back up to an upright position. Then go to the wall and starting out, place your hands close to your hips and then move back because that's the height of your hips. See if you can get your feet on one even platform and you will replicate the same series of elements. Your sacrum is lifting away from the pubic bone and then the ribs are going into the body. And now at this place, it's easy to start to sag. You want to create length in your waist. So the abdomen pulls in and up to create more traction. And again, hold this position. Feeling the qualities and start to straighten and tighten the arm muscles a little bit more. So you can feel from the shoulders through the elbows into the heel of the hand, length. And then bring yourselves back up to an upright position. I'm going to adjust the camera. Because when you were going forward, your arms were up. You were parallel to the floor. So again, there's lots of tightness here. So we're going to work on that a minute. You're going to bring your hands parallel and now rotate them out. I'm interested in the rotation of the upper arm. The hand is just an extraneous decoration. You can turn the hand without anything happening here. Get the upper part of the arm working as much as you can. Notice that the shoulder blades are getting wide, but get the back into the back part of the spine in towards the front part. Now from here, turn the palms to face each other and bring the arms up by the ears. So I want you to focus on this spiral of the arms. So the back arm is rolling. Everything is rolling forward. This means that your armpit goes in. You're getting the socket nicely set and strong. So just hold the arms up for a minute like this and feel the position. Bring the arms down. I'm going to take my shirt off so I can better, you can see this on camera. We're going to go back to the wall. So remember, it's that position that you want to work on. So get your hands close to your hip height. Walk back again. I'm adjusting the camera. Keep walking back till you're parallel. And start as you get lower, start to feel that you're taking the outer arm and rotting it in. You're taking the armpit and lifting it up. It's like something is happening in that way. And then make the arm bones strong and lengthen your rib cage. Back ribs come into the body. The abdomen lengthens. The sacrum lengthens. The tail lifts away from the pubic bone, and the legs are very long and extended. Hold that position and just keep focusing on all these different elements. There's always a lot to think about when you're taking your time and navigating through your body to refine a position and notice it. So it takes a certain amount of discipline to just stay with the simplicity of one pose and make the muscles work. Bring yourselves back up. And now make sure that you have the mat against the corner of a wall, if you have access to that, because we're going to do a down dog. So from here, you want to come down and starting on your hands and knees, get your feet quite close to the corner of a room, because our heels are not going to go to the floor, and that will allow you to work much more strongly in the arms. And from here, you see I've locked my heels into the wall, so they're not at the floor. And what this is now allowing me to do is lengthen massively with the arms. Get that push away from the mat, lengthening through the ribs, lifting the sit bones up. Just take a moment and feel this position. It's a lovely, lovely place to get that length kicking in. Feel the length. Stretch the arms. Lift the sit bones. Open up the backs of the knees. Hard area to get going. Notice that we're doing the same work in the sacrum that you were doing right at the beginning, and getting the same traction in the back of the ribs. So it's all a repetition of the same qualities. Bend your knees and come back down. Please have a quick look, because this will, it'll be hard, I believe, to follow in the camera. I'm moving my hands a tiny bit further out because my limbs are long, going back into this position. And then, without the hips moving, I'm taking one leg up and then lengthening into the back of the leg. So you're in this scissor position. So let's all of us get back into your down dog. Refine the position. From your shoulders, you're pressing in towards the index finger and thumb. So your arms are pushing the body away from the floor, and you want to lengthen the back ribs to the front ribs, but don't sag with your chest to the floor. You want a straight, long spine. Then slowly start lifting one leg, and you have to be honest. Don't let the hips open. The goal isn't to get the leg up there. The goal is to keep the hips square and then open up tight tissue. If you can't straighten the lifted leg, that's fine. Don't twist in the rib cage. Don't twist in the hips. Hold the position. If you've got the leg lengthening, start opening the back tissue of the knee. Bring the foot back down. Lengthen into your down dog. And slowly, honestly, start lifting the other leg up. See if you can find this length. Again, the hips should be square. The spine should be long. The back body should be going into the front body. And the arms should be long and lengthened. Slowly bring the leg back down. Bend the knees. And then open the knees the width of your mat or a little bit wider than the hips. Your big toes are touching. Take your hips back. Slowly stretch your arms out. So you allow the spine to settle down. Many of you can get your head right towards the floor. What you want is the hips to stay on the floor. In my case, I have some tight spots. So I'm using a block so I can rest my forehead. So use props to really honestly approach your own body. So your hips are down, you're letting the crease of the groins move backwards, and then lengthen the spine out. Bring yourselves back up and bring the knees together. The next one, because we're starting to practice a little bit of inversions and upside down positions, we're building the body up. Even if you can't get there, this is your preparatory work. We're starting with the equivalent of what would be a handstand. So if you sit with your bottom against the wall and your legs out, you eyeball about where your heels are. That is your leg length. So then put your hands where your feet were. Have a look at the placement of your hands. They should be shoulder width, not wide. Shoulder width. If you look at your two arms, they make parallel lines. If you have tight shoulders and you know it, slightly turn your fingers out so your index fingers are going straight ahead. Start by making that spiraling movement of the arms around in order to create the correct muscle structure into the shoulders. Feel where the wall is and slowly lift your bottom up. Now shift your weight over your arms. For some of you, this is it. That's already a lot of work, and you push with your hands to start to build up the arm muscles. If you can, you step one foot, the other foot just once, and slowly start to bring your hips up. This is a lot of pressure into your upper body and very exhausting. If you've done it, bravo. If you're still with your knees bent, bravo. Just hold that position for a minute. Walk your feet down and come onto your heels and rest. Take a moment. We're going to do this again. This practice is about repetition and familiarity with the experience of being upside down. It's not easy. The first few times you feel incredibly heavy, tired, and fatigued because the body is not opened up to the stress of it yet. And then your energy pops. Something opens up in the high part of the body, and there's a vitality and health that kicks in. That is what's motivating me to share these practices with you. So hands on the floor. Slightly turned out position. Check that your elbows are strong. Check that your body weight, notice I'm over my knuckles, so I'm starting to practice what's it going to feel like to take weight on my hands. Then, staying with my body weight over my hands, you lift up. This may be all you can do. If you can take your legs up the wall one step, great. If you can start to keep pushing and slowly straightening your legs, even better. I think my hands are too close because I feel I'm going backwards, but just hold that position. See if you can lift your sacrum up and come back down. And rest. As I said, this is a practice. Today we're just wine tasting some of these hard challenges. The next one is a build up again of this upper body. in order to get into headstands, but we're not going to actually put the head on the floor today. We're going to have a clasp of the hands. You put it on the floor, doesn't matter for this first part where you want, and you press the hands down. The hands will want to fall out. You want to keep them very steady so the whole side of the arm is pressing into the floor. So again, you press away. Notice how I'm pushing my hands down to get this sense of the chest lifting up, and I'm looking towards my hands or towards the space between my hands. So let's do this 5 times. Relax the shoulders. Press away from the floor. Push down with the arms as you do it so you feel that energy. Relax the shoulders. Push down. Relax the shoulders. Press down. Relax the shoulders. Press down. Last one. Relax the shoulders. Press down. Sit back. And before we go to the next level, one detail I forgot to mention. There is a tendency to have the elbows too wide. The elbows should be shoulder height, so it's an equilateral triangle or less. Your temptation will be to go here because certain muscles are tight. Fight for it. Don't let the elbows go apart. Now the next stage, just please watch for a minute. You will push away from the floor. You're looking down, and then you stretch your legs and you start to walk your legs in as high as you can. Notice what I'm doing. I'm pushing away from the floor and lifting up. So we'll do that together. You may not be able to go very far. It doesn't matter. You're just starting now. So hands on the floor. Press away from the floor with your hands up, pressing down. The shoulders are pushing away from the ears, and keep looking down at the space between your hands and press your legs up. Keep pushing away from the floor with the arms and see how far further up you can get your bottom. So you want to keep lifting up. If you can lift your heels, it helps. Just go wherever you can and come back down. Sit back and just take a moment. Upside down positions can be very strenuous. Our next one, we go into the same position and we will lift one leg up and then the other leg up. And it doesn't matter if you don't get very far today. You're starting to ask your nervous system to do very new things. So just go with whatever your body's ready to do. So hands on the floor. And lift your hips, push away from the floor with the arms, and bring the hips as high up as your body's ready to give you today. And take one leg up, the same way you just did a minute ago with the straight arm. Even straight legs. Come back down. Actually, you did it in down dog. And then the other side. Lift it up. Come back down, push away from the floor because you probably sagged, and bend your knees and come down. And take a moment. Now we're starting off this class heavy and strong, and then we're going to lighten up the load. So you're kind of doing the energetic part first. The last variation, please watch me. If you feel you're ready for it, you will be in the same position. You push away, your feet will be against the wall, and then you step up with one foot and one foot and slowly straighten the legs so you're going more vertical and then come down. So that's what you'll be doing. Let's do it together. You clasp your hands. Before we start, please notice which index finger you've clasped because you want to master both sides. Place your hands on the floor. Press your chest away from the floor with the strength of your shoulders and hands and lift your legs up. Now take one foot and one foot and see if you can lift up higher. Keep pushing away from the floor, pressing your head away from the floor. This is building very good upper body strength and mobility, and then come down. Sit up for a minute. Have a look at which index finger you have on top. Flip the hands the other way. Place the hands back down again. Press into the mat. Press your shoulders away from your ears. And again, 1 foot up, 1 foot up. Keep pushing away from the floor and lift your hips up. And just hold that position and then come down. Undo your arms, open your knees, and lengthen your body forward. Give yourself a nice stretch. Slowly bring yourselves back up to an upright position. And now we're done with the inversion, the hard part, which you may feel the results of tomorrow. And now we're going to start doing very simple basic forward bends and twists. And I would like to have everybody with their bottom elevated with at least 2 blankets. I've got a Mexican blanket folded in 4. I'm taking 2 of them, and I'll put this off to the side for now. And when you are sitting, you want your strap nearby. You want your hips up. Now, oops. I'm going to turn my cell phone off. I apologize for that. Now, okay, so sorry about this. Oh gosh. Whoa. Hello, oh. I am so sorry, I can't talk right now. I accidentally answered. I apologize. I'll call back in an hour. Okay. Thanks. I'm so sorry about this. Okay. Now, when your bottom is up like this, you want to use it so that you can get this lift of the sacrum and the correct position of the pelvis. If you can't get there, you keep raising the height of the buttocks until you can. And then from here you have the thigh bones pressing down. So a lot of details coming in so you can start practicing lifting the back. Please take your strap around the feet to refine this very simple. It's called Dandasana. It's preparation for forward bends. Same thing we did at the beginning of the class. The sacrum comes in and the spine lifts up. So you want to practice this sensation of the back muscles lifting way up and opening the chest. At the same time, the thighs bend down and the backs of the knees open. So just notice as much as you can all these qualities. And just to see if you can sustain them, you let go of the strap. Remember that external rotation of the arms and lift the arms up over the head. So when the arms are up like this, you should be able to get even more lift happening in the rib cage and spine to strengthen the whole skeletal structure of the body. Now, keep that nice lift in the back. Keep the ribs, the back ribs moving into the front ribs. And then take the hand, I'm rotating to my right. So my left hand has come to the outside and my right hand is behind. If you are super high on a bunch of blocks, you can have your hand behind you, and lift your body up. Now, the hand that's sliding forward, that shoulder blade moves away from the spine, that rib widens, and that waist lifts. So my left side is widening and lifting, and then the side that's moving back, that shoulder blade goes in towards the spine and rotates. And the head is the final outcome of all this. So nice lift, nice twist. Come back to the center, check the spinal column, lift the arms up again. Big lift of the whole body, and then my right hand's coming to the outside, left hand's behind. You can use a block if you need it. Lifting up. Now my right ribs, the ribs that are moving forward and the side of the hand are widening. That shoulder blade is moving away from the spine. The left shoulder blade is moving into the spine. My right waist is lifting. My right ribs are lifting. And I'm working into the twist, and my head follows. Come back to the center. Hold your strap again. Lift your back up, and now when you hinge forward, we're doing a forward bend, but today I really want the straight spine. I'm not wanting you to go down as far. I want that length. So if you're super advanced and you can contain your lower spine and your upper spine, you can go further down. Many people go flat on the back, but usually part of their back doesn't work. Very often the back rounds to get low. Today we want really to practice this lengthening of the spine, bringing the back ribs into the body and then hinging as a unit and allowing the body to open from there. Come back up, and we will open our legs to the side. I'm going to turn so that we'll be able to see. So the legs are open. You want them as wide as is comfortable for you. Again, your bottom is elevated. The elevation of the bottom allows the thighs to descend, and the same thing, this high part of the back to lift. So you want to get this nice sense of lift. If you need to, you put your hands behind you. In fact, that's good for everybody. And lift up even more. So you get this sense of the whole spine working, and this area of the ribs moving forward so that this area can move up. Now from here, if you have a block, you can use it. The left hand to the right, outside of the right leg, lift and rotate. So you're using, the shoulders are down, the left side of my ribs are moving out away from the spine, my left shoulder is moving forward, this arm, shoulder is back, spine is lifted in the middle, this left side going down, and you get a twist. From here, take your strap around your right foot and hold it with your left hand. So we'll start with the same qualities. You lift, this side comes forward, but we're going to add a forward bend now. So you start bending forward, but same thing, I want that long spine. I don't want going to the floor. I want a hinge from the hips with a good open position and a long waist. So we're always positioning the sternum opposite the shin bone. And this hand is being used as a lever, so you really get that sense of lengthening of the whole spine. Come back. We'll do the same to the other side. You want to lift. Right hand to the left leg, left hand behind, big lift, and start to spiral to the left. Most important are the ribs moving into the body. The right rib and shoulder blade is moving away from the spine. The left shoulder blade moving into the spine, and the back ribs moving into the spine. So there's a lengthening of the spinal column and then a rotation. Come back. Get the strap around the foot. Right hand is holding the strap. Same position, the left hand's on the floor. Lifting and then slowly working forward. This hand is constantly helping the right ribs move over. The right thigh is descending and the right waist is lengthening. Come back. From this position, take your left leg, the leg we just bent into, and bend it up and bring it high up close to the groin. Now, ideally the knee goes to the floor, but my foot's cramping. You may not get there. So if you have something, please pad it, because we want these nice sense of groundedness in the pelvis. So starting out, the same lift of the sacrum, lift of the ribs, everything is up. Left hand to the outside of the right leg, right hand behind, lift and spiral around. Notice that a lot of the spirals happening in the rib cage, not necessarily in the lumbar spine or the waist. It's very small there. You don't want an archingness in that part of the spine. You want it really corseted. And then you're loosening up the whole rib cage area. And it doesn't look dramatic, and it's very effective in creating a healthy body. Come back to the middle. Right hand on the left knee, left hand behind you, and again, that's spiraling. So the part of the rib cage that's moving into the twist is widening, but that part of the rib is going into the body. And then the other side, the side that's moving backwards, the shoulders coming in. Come back to the center. Take your strap around your foot. Hold it with your left hand. Lift up, and again, that's like spiral. Your knee may be able to drop a little lower now because you've been loosening up a lot of subtle little parts of your space. Lift your sacrum up. Use your hand on the floor to get even more length, and then come forward in one piece. As you come forward, the knee that's bent is pressing down even further. So it's widening out of the body. Remember, you're not looking to round your back to come forward. You're looking to extend your back out. Nice long stretch. The chest is facing in the same direction. Keep that nice length. Bring yourselves back up. Change sides. So one leg is out, the other leg is bent up. The heel is coming as high up. The knee should be going towards the floor. If you need padding, you get padding on that leg. And again, you start with the sacrum lifting, the ribs moving into the body, right hand on the outside of the left leg, left hand behind, big lift, start pulling the right ribs forward. So even more than the shoulder, if you round back, is the bra line. The bra line needs to move into the body and then widen. Then the left side pulls back. Have this nice, interesting rotation in the ribs. Come back. Left hand to the knee. Right hand behind you, lift and now spiral towards the bent leg. Remember, you're keeping a vertical alignment. The shoulders are down, which will create a lovely openness along the shoulder girdle area. Come back to the center. Take your strap around your foot. Lift your back up. Hold the strap with your right hand. Lift and spiral to the left enough so the sternum faces the leg. From here, even more lift in the sacrum and then hinge from the sacrum. This groin has to make a very deep corner. We're not looking to get flat out on the leg. You want to really find that hinging movement in the pelvis and the lengthening movement in the spine. It's well worth being very ADD about it, or obsessive compulsive, what's it called? Because you will discover so many deep and valuable qualities in your physiology. And come back up. Very good. Now from here, stretch both legs out. And now we're going to do something interesting. You will want to take, do you see how I've taken my blankets? And I'm setting them up so that they're on a diagonal with one corner close to my bottom and the other angle out. And I'm hiking my left buttock up on them. So my left buttock is up, my right buttock is floating. And from here I'm rolling to the left and bringing my right foot out close to my buttock. You're going to take your right calf and roll it out. So what you're striving to do here, the right hip is in the air, but it's dropping down. For most of us, when we have one leg bent in like this, the hip rides up. So if you put your hands on your two hips so they're even, mine are not. I'm still tipping to the side, and I can see this leg is tipping to the side. So I haven't elevated enough. So I'm going to take a third blanket and reposition myself. You want to get, here we are, you want to get your hips even. It changes everything about how this pose affects you. So do what you need to do. Now I'm coming close to having an even position where my right sit bone and my left sit bone are the same and my leg is going straight forward instead of rolling out. Check the bent leg that the toes are going straight back. Very, very useful again for unwinding massive confusion in the legs. So take your time, get the right position, and here we go again. Lift the sacrum, lift the back. You want this nice position. Lift both arms up. See if you can get this sense of the thighs descending and the spine lifting. Lots of different things happening at the same time. Then left hand to the knee, right hand behind. Keep the pelvis square and twist. Rotating to the right. Keep those hips dropping down. Come back. Lift the arms up again. And twist to the other side. Come back. See if you can get the strap around the straight leg. Lift it. Can you still have this hip dropping downwards? It tends to hike up. I've been in yoga classes where they would drape a weight, a sandbag, a 20-pound sandbag on this muscle to help it drop down. Just to give you an idea, lift the back, and then again, can you hinge forward from the corners of the groins and with keeping your spine long. Come back up, and let's go for the other side. So extending the leg. I'm going to move my blankets around so they're in the opposite direction. So when I'm sitting, my right buttock is dropping down. My left one, I'm sorry, I'm leaning to my right. I'm bringing my left foot up, rolling my calf away, and then checking that both sit bones are going straight down. This side works better. So this feeling of the hips descending and allowing the spine to lift. Lift the arms up and rotating to the right, making sure this knee is not rolled out, spiraling around. Come back to the center. Lift the arms up again, spiraling around. Come back. Take the strap. Lift up. And then see if you can hinge with a long extended back. That area of the bra line, is it moving into the ribs in the back? Is the chest staying nice and long and open? And then you're getting a natural long extension and length of the whole trunk. You don't want your trunk getting shorter, of the thighs still descending. Come back up again. Extend the legs out. Let's bring these again to the first diagonal line. And this is what you'll be doing. You want to be up on your knees. You move your feet to one side and notice that I'm taking my top foot and hooking it on my left arch. And then from there, I'm sitting down and placing the blankets in such a way that they support my bottom. So this is the funny thing about this. My top foot, the leg that's more out, is on top of the other foot. And you want to position yourself in such a way that the knee is going straight forward and then the other knee is also touching the floor. And your bottom is not sitting on your feet. Hence this little position, because you want both hips descending. You want your back lifted. This is my left leg. This is my right hand. I'm going to bring my right hand around and use it as a fulcrum and take my other hand behind and rotate. So now there's a lot of lovely rotation and twist happening in the rib cage. Again, make sure your waist is lifting up. You want most of the rotation happening more in the ribs, less in the waist. Come back and moving the blankets to the other side. You drop your hip down and you get yourself into the position where your outer foot is on top of your bottom foot. And well, this one I need to work a bit because my hips have even more height. I could use even more height. Have to make sure my blankets are really stacked up well. So as much as you can, you want your hips even, your spine long, so the fact that one hip is floating in the air allows it to descend. Left hand in front of the right outer thigh and rotating to the right. Using the work also to create a stretch across the collarbones and open up the front chest. Come back. Extend the legs out. Now, I'm going to move back to 2 blankets. And we'll start getting more into some direct hip stretches. So sitting cross-legged now, normally we just cross our legs, but today we're going to have a little bit more of a detailed cross. So bring one foot close in. Notice that this foot is quite close to my buttock. And then the opposite foot will be almost parallel with the mat. I'm just going to move back a bit so I demonstrate this right. So this front leg you want almost parallel, and if you were to look down, your feet are wider than your knees. It's not as comfortable as a normal cross-legged position. We're not looking for comfort right now. And you want to flex your feet, so if you were to put your hands on your feet, you can push your heels and think of pushing your feet into your hands. Then sitting up, you will start moving forward again, hinging as best you can from your hips. So it will probably create a stretch and put a demand to open and for the tissue to change in very different places from your normal forward bend. Please be honest with it. Remember that sacrum has to lift away from the pubic bone. You're looking to tilt the whole pelvis and create a lot of crease in the front groins. Come back up and change the cross of your legs. The other leg is up. The front shin is parallel. The feet are flexed and bend forward from this angle. And come back up. Stretch your legs out. Now, if you have wall, we're going on our backs, but it's nice if there's wall for you to put your feet against, but if not, it's fine. So, make sure your strap is close by. Notice that I'm starting out with my knees bent and my feet really flexed, and then I push my heels into the wall and lengthen my back out. So you're looking to have, it's as though you're standing with your feet flat, and it's a nice way to start to lengthen the whole back part of the body and create length. Some of you have a lovely flat spine. Wherever you're at, that's you. From here, keep the one leg, I'm pressing my left leg into the wall and checking that you feel your big toe, little toe, and center of the heel pushing down. So you're grounding the tripod of your foot, and then without changing it, get the strap and lift the other leg straight up. Now check the leg that's going into the wall. You really want that tripod still active. It usually starts to do a lot of recalibration, and then lengthen the other leg up. Check that your sacrum is long and that your spine is as long as it's able to be. Nice long leg position. And then can you bring the leg further forward without changing any of these anchor points? So the heel is grounding, big toe is grounding, little toe is grounding on the foot that's going into the wall. And the other side is lengthening. It can be quite surprising for very flexible people when they do this honestly. Their range of movement is now in a very different place, and the stretch is in a different place. So hold this position, let the tissue settle, start to focus on the back of the knee. Let's get the tissue here nicely lengthened and the back of the knee of the leg on the floor. Just work into all those qualities. Then take the left hand and get it on the floor to the side if you have room for that. And start taking the right leg out. I'm bringing my elbow to the floor because I want to keep my left hip grounded. If the left hand is on the floor and the arm is extended, it helps. So we're looking to press the left ribs into the floor, the left hip and the left thigh into the floor, and then allow the right adductor to lengthen. Bring the leg up again and bend the knee. Doing the other side, I'm going to turn around because I can't open my leg out. So now no wall for me. The leg that's on the floor against the wall, you want it lengthened out. So the heel of the foot that's on the wall, if you have wall, heel, big toe and little toe grounding. Then that thigh descending. Then the opposite thigh lengthening. And take your time to position it. Start focusing on the thighs pressing into the floor or away from the trunk so the bone is deepening into the back tissue in order to open it. Everything is long. Gently pull the leg further towards you if you want to. Then take the hand that's not holding the strap, get it sideways on the floor, straight out if you can, and then take the other leg out. Do not let the right hip lift. You have to keep holding it. Let the left leg open. And you go as far as you're able to. Be honest with your position. It's your body, and sometimes it's nice not to do what you always do, but to really focus in on other fine details and get at the next level of the geometry of the bones explored. Bring the leg back up and bend the foot down. Both knees are bent. Check to see that both hips are even, the knees are together, feet are together, right foot comes in front of the left knee. So we're doing figure 4 stretch. I hope you didn't move your hips. And then bend the leg up and let the leg start to hinge in. If you can't get up, you need to pull your head up, that's fine too. We're just looking to get that nice stretch in the hips, ideally without the spine and the pelvis twisting around. Bring the foot back down. Other foot comes down and bring the other foot up. So you're in this 90-degree angle. And slowly bring the foot up. This side I need to be curled. You're looking for a stretch in the hips. This is so nice. I haven't been able to get into the hip and feel my glute on this side for a long time, and I'm starting to get those muscles to open and release. It's so good to work honestly because it's fun to see the progress and discover your physiology. I hope you're all having the same experience. Oh. Come back down. Knees and feet together. Let's have the arms out to the side and just drop both knees to one side. Can you keep your shoulder on the mat? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Do this more so it feels good in your body. Bring it back up. And drop both knees to the other side. Keep your shoulder on the floor if you can. Bring yourself back up. Bend the knees in and rock your knees from side to side. Hold your feet for happy baby pose. And again, rock side to side. Extend your right leg. Bend it back. Extend your left leg. Bend it back. Extend both legs. Bend them back and then extend your legs out for your Shavasana. Lengthen the legs out. Open the shoulders. Roll the palms of the hands open and start to release into the density of your bones and the density of your body. In this position, take a deep breath in. Fill yourself up, and then as you breathe out, let go of all the tension in your body. Take another deep breath in, and then relax even more deeply. Last breath, breathing in, and relax any final residual places of tension. And start to settle. The bones become heavy. The ligaments and tendons become heavy. The throat and the jaw relaxes. The lips and the cheeks let go. The eyes and the brain sink. And your space open. To finish, take a few slow, deeper breaths and wiggle the fingers and the toes to get a sensation of the parameters of the body. And in your own time, bend your knees and slowly roll to one side and come up into a cross-legged position and settle into your seated shape, keeping that stillness. And to finish, bring your hands into prayer pose at the heart center and give thanks for the wisdom and the teachings of yoga. Give thanks for the wisdom and teachings of your body and what it gives you, how it holds you, the map it provides, and the insights and brilliance of this temple for your soul. And let's ask that we embrace the truth of the moment, we accept who we are, we enjoy the journey, we open to our consciousness, and we share who we are honestly and truthfully, without judgment, without expectation. And from that place, we see we truly live in grace. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands up to your forehead or third eye, down to your lips for a kiss. Bring your hands back down to your heart and bow your head to your heart. May the mind always be the servant of the heart. Then lift your head and open your eyes, and namaste.